Today, I'm going to share how you can maximize your breaks at work so you can comfortably unwind and get the recharge you need to be productive again. Hi, and welcome back to another segment of Triple T where I reveal my top tips and tricks to help you excel at work and reach your highest potential. I'm Allie, and today we're going to continue our two-part work break series by discussing the best ways you can maximize your breaks at work. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this video is because I started to notice that employees were so glued to their work that they would opt out to eat at their desk in favor of getting more work done. And I'm not the only one who's noticed this. A survey done by the NDP group found that 62% of professionals reported eating lunch at their desks. And why? Because they're terrified of what will happen if they do take a break. They might start to fall behind in their work, get crap from their boss, or even lose out on some opportunity. It's sad to say, but we become a society that rewards people who sell their soul to the company. And some would even argue that it's less about the quality of your work and more about the amount you get done if you want to get ahead. The problem with this mentality is that the quality of your work does matter. And science has shown that to perform at max capacity on a frequent basis, you need to take breaks. So this raises a question of how do we balance our increasing workload with our desire to perform our best and the need to take a break all in a short period of time? And so today's video is going to answer this question by sharing with you some of the top strategies for maximizing your breaks at work. These are scientifically proven strategies that'll not only help you comfortably unwind from the daily grind, but also reap the benefits from taking a break in a short time span. And as I'm discussing these strategies, I want you to think about how you optimize your break time at work. What are some of your favorite ways to unwind? I know you have some great suggestions, so make sure to also share these in the comment below. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and grab a drink, and we'll get started. Tip 1, lose the guilt. As I said earlier, it's not uncommon for people to feel insecure about taking breaks, and there are some work environments that openly frown upon it. But whether your boss likes it or not, you're legally entitled to receive at least one break. So if you're going to make the most out of these breaks, then you need to first give yourself permission to relax. Guilt is just going to stress you out, which ruins the entire point of taking a break to begin with. So before you go on that break, make it a habit to repeat to yourself that everyone deserves a break, and you're not an exception to that. You can even reinforce this idea by taking a break at the same time as your coworkers. It'll relieve some of the pressure you put on yourself and even give you some company. Tip number 2, take breaks regularly. Research has shown time and time again that if you want to extend your peak performance for as long as possible, then you need to take frequent breaks throughout the day. What I recommend you do is plan out each break you intend to take throughout the day. Now, I'll be honest, research varies on what the best work to break ratio is, but I've personally found that breaks are most effective when you do a 3-to-1 ratio. So if you work for 60 minutes, for example, then you should take a break for 20. Once you have that figured out, make sure you set some alarms to remind yourself when it's time to stop working. And when it goes off, walk away. Doesn't matter what you're doing if you're not even tired yet. Stop working. I found that this is particularly an issue when it comes to morning breaks. Look, I get it. It's the morning. You're on a roll. You have a lot of energy left. So you want to plow through as much work as possible before you lose your steam. But this is actually how you get drained to begin with, and research has supported this. We're not like cars that can be refueled at any given point without consequence. Once we're zapped of our energy for the day, we don't get it back until we sleep at night. So if you want to perform your best for as long as possible, then you need to focus on conserving your energy as early as possible. And the best way to do that is simple. Take frequent breaks and don't ignore your morning breaks. Tip number 3, do what you want. You've probably heard several different suggestions on what you should do or shouldn't do during your breaks. Like, you should stay away from phones, get away from social media, or make it a habit to socialize with your coworkers. And although there is some truth to these recommendations, studies have found support for these findings. But research has also shown that one of the best ways to recuperate during your break is just to do what you like doing. So, does that mean that any of the previous findings are wrong? No. It just means that certain activities are going to be better for certain types of people. For example, extroverts love to socialize, so it makes sense to tell them to interact with others on their time off. But what about introverts? These individuals prefer to be by themselves and even get anxious when they're around people for too long. So obviously, they're not going to do as well socializing with others during their breaks. So what do I recommend? Prioritize the things you like doing and what makes you feel good. That's how you're going to be able to rest up and be productive again. If there's something you like doing that can have consequences, such as going on social media, then just do it in moderation. As long as you wholeheartedly enjoy it and it doesn't stress you out, then it's going to help you maximize your breaks. Tip number 4, have options. Continuing off the last tip, there are some activities that are naturally more harmful than others. On top of that, people have different needs that need to be fulfilled throughout the day. So if you want to maximize your breaks, then you need to give yourself some variety. Change things up throughout the day. What I recommend you do is create a list of everything you like to do during your breaks. That way you don't have to waste any time trying to decide what it is you're going to do. Now, if you really want to go above and beyond, then assign a purpose to each break you take. For example, if you're someone who enjoys watching animals and socializing, then have your 10 o'clock morning breaks focus on watching cute cat videos and your 3 o'clock break focusing on interacting with your coworkers. It's a great way to keep things fresh and gives you a chance to satisfy different areas of your life while at work, which makes it easier to relax and re-energize during your breaks. Tip number 5, detach from work. If you want to maximize your breaks, then it goes without saying that you need to detach from your work by doing something that can distract you from thinking about work. And there are different ways you can do this, but I always recommend that with whatever you choose to do, make sure to do it in a different location. Get out of the office and go out in nature. Not an option? Go to a nearby cafe. Getting fresh air like this is not only a great way to keep you distracted, but it's also a great way to help you relax more easily. But I do want to warn you that detaching does have its downsides as well. You see, people who detach too much can also inadvertently hurt their performance. And this is because when we detach too much, we completely shut off our work mindset, which just makes it that much more difficult to switch back once our break is over. So just know you have to do this in moderation. And the best way to do that is just to try to incorporate work-related activities into your breaks. So instead of texting your friends or family members, talk to a coworker. If you want to develop a skill or watch a YouTube video, then watch a video that helps you learn a work-related skill. So to summarize, if you want to maximize your breaks at work, then you need to detach yourself. But just make sure you don't detach too much or it can actually be counterproductive. Tip number 6, refuel the right way. You're going to have to eat at some point, so of course we're going to have to talk about what you eat during your breaks. The last thing you want to have after a relaxing break is a major sugar crash, right? So you need to be mindful of the things you eat during your breaks. I suggest you prioritize eating leafy green vegetables or berries, but you could also grab a handful of nuts. Those have been found to improve your memory and concentration. But just make sure you don't forget to add some protein. Fatty fish like salmon is a good source of omega-3 fatty acids, which have also been connected to better cognitive abilities. So basically you have a lot of options available to you, so make sure to play around with different foods to see what gives you the best energy boost. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, coffee. You've probably heard that drinking coffee or any caffeinated beverage is a great way to increase your attention and focus, and in some ways that's absolutely true. But what you might not know is that this is highly dependent on the amount of caffeine you consume in a given period of time. You see, people perform the best when they have moderate levels of caffeine spread throughout the day. When they have too much in a short time span, their performance suffers. Not only that, but indulging on caffeine can trigger migraines, which makes it that much more difficult to perform well. So yes, you can consume caffeine, but be alert to how much you drink throughout the day. The FDA suggests that you can drink up to 400 milligrams of caffeine without experiencing any negative effects. Tip number 7, get moving. Of these tips, I have to admit that exercising is the one that's the most effective for me personally. Usually in the late morning or afternoon, I'll use one of my breaks to walk around campus or take my dog out for a walk when I'm working at home. And every single time I return to work, my body's pumped and ready to go. It's actually during this time when I'm the most productive. And as you can imagine, there's plenty of science backing the power of exercise. Not only has walking been found to improve your mood and reduce your work fatigue, but one study even found that just 10 minutes alone of exercise is all you need to boost your memory and attention for the rest of the day. So make it a priority to get your body moving at least once a day. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous. A simple walk outside is more than enough. There are even some people who use this time to do some stretching or yoga. If you have an animal like I do, then take advantage of that time to take them out for a walk or play with them inside. They'll reap the same benefits as you do, and it gives you some quality time together. It's a win-win for everyone. So do yourself a favor and exercise during one of your breaks. This will not only help you maintain a healthier lifestyle, but it'll help you improve your focus and concentration for when you do return to work. And there you have it, my top strategies for maximizing your breaks at work. Use these tips and you're going to feel refreshed and get that boost you need to be productive again. Now, if you enjoyed this video or you're someone who forgets to take breaks, then I highly suggest you watch this video next, where I discuss the top signs you need to watch out for so you know when to take a break. And before you go, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right there. It helps me get my videos out there and lets you know when I release new content. Otherwise, it's been fun having you today. Until we drink again, take it easy. Bye. So I've actually tried each of these already. I have to admit, the vanilla one's really good. There's like one with vanilla in it, and it's like a really smooth vanilla cream filling.